Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. Today on the Survival Show, taking a look at a dinosaur themed action adventure game where you play as a young T-Rex. Also first proper gameplay of Rupture, a big massive base defense game meets Satisfactory, made by the same people behind Green Hell. Plus the latest on Conan Exiles, Age of Heroes, another delay for its PTB, more improvements and updates for Dawn of Defiance adding creative mode, and a look at what's going on with a medieval zombie survival game. Leave a like if you find this video useful. Let's go, it's the Survival Show. Dawn of Defiance has just gone live with its creative mode update. Only 2 weeks after its release, it's adding a bunch more cosmetic and buildable items. It looks pretty good, I'm not going to lie. It actually runs pretty well considering the amount of builds that I'm sure people are doing. Part of their dev blog has an interview, I think, with a builder player who shows off something pretty amazing that they've done with a whole city. So imagine what you can do now, creative mode's fully implemented instead of just having to go through cycling commands. It's not chunking like you find in other games like Ark or Conan. Now these are experimental and basically giving you a choice when you start up a game to change the rule sets, turning off durability, crafting costs, building costs, and being able to unlock all recipes, as well as give you all movement abilities so you can glide and fly around and get around to them hard to get places as you're building your giant towers. Whole bunch of other improvements and fixes and slight changes. You'll now be able to go ahead and dump items into a chest almost directly by interacting with them if they have it inside. I've added a bunch of decor, new daybeds, pillows, taxidermy, boars, wolves, hares, rabbits, curtains and thrones. Also added new thatch and wood building pieces, and of course stone too. They've buffed some of the drops that you get from some of the creatures you hunt, and generally just seem to have made the game a little bit smoother and easier, reducing costs of stuff and how you can activate fast travel to the main island and more. All in all, really good stuff. It seems pretty basic, but they seem to be really on it. I'm pretty rooting for it. It's a solid little game, maybe not setting the world alight with anything brand new, but what they have done is pretty well done. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can add as they go through early access. The makers of Green Hell have finally revealed full proper gameplay of their new game Rupture. It's meant to be like a hybrid cross between something like Satisfactory and typical survival games, maybe with an obviously sci-fi element. This is the first time we're seeing more than just a few dev screens or clip shots, and I'm saying it looks pretty good. There is definitely a much more of a focus on combat than I thought there would be. I always knew that it would be an element. The teaser trailers had you kind of worrying about the weather events that might actually happen rather than necessarily fighting monsters, but it does look like that is going to be something you're going to have to take care of, as waves of monsters apparently are taking on all your automated processes. And that's what it also definitely feels like, a Satisfactory game with guns, and that is something I always kind of wish Satisfactory had. We've seen some base raiding games in recent times, but this does look like it has more of a focus on the automation and making sure that, yeah, you can defend well. And it looks pretty cool. The bugs look pretty gnarly, the gameplay looks pretty crisp, and that huge event with the sun about to blow up does look pretty ominous. So I'm down for this one. They're going to be hopefully revealing more in the next few months. I'm going to be definitely following it with a beady eye. I can't imagine they're going to release this year. I reckon it still will be next year. And obviously Green Hell's still going strong with regular updates, having just ported over to Xbox Series S and X and PS5 native versions. But this definitely looks interesting. With all the different weather effects that could take place, it's not just being fried to a crisp. I think in their teaser and some of the stuff they've spoken about, there could be other elements like a deep ice age and more. And yeah, you'll have to pretty much get ready before the world goes to shit and get in as much resources and base building and automation done as possible before effectively beginning again with a new cycle and maybe new upgrades, if I understand it right. So yeah, very interested in this, and I'll keep you guys in the loop as soon as we start hearing more info. Conan Exiles have a big update in the works, the Age of Heroes, adding fully fleshed companions to you now. Not long any thralls, actually NPCs that have maybe voice line, story and more, and a bit more personality. This update was meant to be going live in a public beta, I do believe at this time today or tomorrow, but it's been pushed back to September the 5th. Of course, that's pretty close to when Ark launches its Aberration DLC for Ark Survival Ascended on the 4th of September. I am convinced Funcom do this on purpose. I'm so glad I don't have to worry so much, not really covering either game as much as I used to. but honestly, the amount of times that Funcom would launch their update when something massive was going on with Ark, pretty much like who's got the biggest dick competition, and clearly Ark always won because it's always had, but maybe not so much now. Of course, it is only a beta, it won't be live for everyone, especially obviously on console, only on PC if you opt in to give feedback, and they did say it would be there for pretty much 4 to 5 weeks, with the full update of the Age of Heroes not going live till October some point. I know this might sound crazy, but I'm kind of curious to see where Conan Exiles is at. It was a game that I hyped up for years, said it was better than Ark, really loved the fact that their team were pretty communicative and they were updating the game on a consistent basis. The only thing that started to ruin that was when they kind of left consoles in the ditch with a bunch of broken updates for like a year, and then trotted out paid DLC, and then of course battle passes. But they have removed the battle passes now. That was my biggest complaint about why I would never cover the game again, not properly anyway. So yeah, I might do one of them videos, you know, the return to Conan Exiles, see how it runs and performs with any of the new content, and give an honest review about where Conan Exiles is at in 2024. What do you reckon? Good idea, bad idea? Let me know in the comment section. And finishing off with one I missed over Gamescom, God Save Birmingham, a zombie survival medieval game set in, I think, our 4th or 3rd largest city in the UK, Birmingham. Yeah, apparently we'll be killing zombies with pitchforks in a dilapidated medieval state. It could be interesting. Really not been on my radar. I went and checked out the Steam page. Shout out to Raz. I think he actually showed this off on Twitter. And yeah, they're kind of stumbling around zombies. I would say, yeah, it could be a good fit. Having medieval gear, that's got to be the best stuff to avoid getting bitten by a zombie. But some of them definitely look a bit more comical than others. It does look to have some sort of survival elements to it as well, so it could be interesting. There's a few games that have tried stuff like this before though, and they never really got anywhere, so fingers crossed. This is alpha footage being shown off at the moment. No release date's been given just yet, and I wouldn't expect it for a while. So this is going to be a single player game, not a multiplayer one, with the idea being that they're going to incorporate and expand upon Birmingham, making it bigger as they go. The usual stuff of adding more depth to the story, more narrative elements and additional playable characters with unique gameplay styles. And when they launch into early access, they will have about 1/4 of the finished environment of Birmingham. So yeah, hopefully it could be good. I can hear all the replies right now, why can't you make it multiplayer? Man, how many people were saying that about Resident Evil or God of War? Just because it's a sandbox or survival game, it doesn't always have to be a co-op or multiplayer, even though some of them do really respond well to it. You never know if it takes off, maybe they can add it, just like Medieval Dynasty was originally designed as a single player game. And finishing off with this dinosaur simulation game, well, maybe not simulation, more action RPG. Perhaps you are a Tyrannosaurus Rex baby trying to survive in modern day human times as the human race seemingly has been wiped out and dinosaurs have reclaimed the land. It does look like you are a baby T-Rex here trying to steal eggs and stay alive from some of the other dinosaurs. I did try finding out some more info, but I couldn't find a Steam page for it, even though IGN says it's live. And they do have a website, but it's pretty arty and fancy, but nothing with any concrete details. I don't know, we've had a few simulation games, or games where you play as other creatures of course. Path of Titans did pretty well when it launched on console in most recent times after being available on mobile and PC for a while. And of course we've got the long in development, The Isle. Swears must be coming up to like 8 years of being in early access, seemingly with no end in sight. I'm not even too sure that game's still being developed. So definitely a more actiony RPG kind of affair. I'm going to have to see how much of this is ending up being just full CGI rather than gameplay. We'll see how this pans out. And there we go, rat bags, another survival show done and dusted. Please leave a like if you found it useful, and I'll see you guys for more soon.